Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for all the new viewers, all the new subscribers. I was at work, I think it was not even a couple of days ago, maybe Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. And I checked my phone and I can't really spend a lot of time on my phone at work, but I checked my YouTube every once in a while. I'll check it, and if I put up a video or something, I hadn't checked it for a while because I haven't posted for a while. I've been so super busy, and I think I had gained a few subscribers, like 3 or 4. I think it was at 282. This is just a few days ago. Not more than 3 days ago, no, but I think it was more like 2 days. But I checked it just earlier, and I had 290 subscribers, so I really got, a bump. My little channel got a little bump. But I just want to say thank you for subscribing. For new people, this is a vlog channel. I just vlog about random stuff, myself, things that are going on, something that's in the news, or some subject that I think is interesting. It's just a random mix of all kinds of anything that I can think of. I would do more. There's so many videos I wanted to make, but I can't because I have to work a job. But if I was doing it full time, then I would be making videos of probably almost every day. But I have been so busy, and I actually started working 2 jobs because I've been house hunting, trying to find a bigger house so that I can make have 1 bedroom for like an office, turning it where I can make my videos, because I make my videos in my car. That's where I am right now. And if I could find the appropriate, accommodations to do that, then that's what I'll be doing in the future. But until then, I'll still have to use my car. And it's been a living nightmare looking for a house on a low budget. It's been horrible. You have to pay these application fees, and I've done it twice, and I have pit bulls. And like, I'll ask, are dogs allowed, and some say no, and then I just, okay, thank you, goodbye. Immediately hang up on them. And then the ones that say yes, I say either breed restriction, weight restriction, or something like that. And I've gotten so much flack for the fact that I own pit bulls, and they want me to get a dangerous dog policy, which I'm never going to do, because my dogs have never bit anybody, and they are not dangerous. They're not friendly, and they're not used to people, because I live by myself. I've been, they're just not used to people. And I used to take one of them. Actually, I have an older dog. One is 15 years old, about 15 years old. And I used to take him everywhere when I first got him, when he was a puppy, up until he was like a little over a year old. And I would take him to all the places that allowed me to take a dog, Gibos, and I don't know, the pet stores. Usually all the pet stores will let you, as long as it's leashed and as long as it's not a vicious dog, doesn't start fights. And a few stores, I think Home Depot does, and I don't remember, there's Gibos, and I don't remember. And so I would take him so I could socialize him, and he was so good and so sweet, and everybody just loved him to death, and they were just surprised, that's a pit bull, and he was so loving and so sweet. And then I started having issues with him when this little dog started attacking him. This little Chiweenie, who weighed about between 10, 12 pounds, was very mean to him, very horrible to him, and bit part of his ear off, attacked him, and he's got a couple of scars on him from it. And he loved that dog, and I tried repeatedly to, let him play with that dog, but the other dog, there's just something wrong with him, I don't know. So that kind of, at one point, after months of me allowing him to play with this dog and trying to let them get along, another attack happened, and Lucky, the big dog, he just flipped the little dog over and started literally wiping the floor with him. Nearly killed him. So I couldn't, at that point I was like, gosh, now I can never take him in public. I can't take him anywhere where there's little yappy dogs. yappy, annoying little dogs. I can't now because it was horrifying, and it took every ounce of my strength to get his little neck out of that big dog's mouth. And then I started having trouble with the place where I had a lot of trouble since the day I moved into this one place, not the place I live now, but before. It wasn't a good area, and I didn't realize that because when I went to go look at the place, it was daylight and everything was calm. But at night, all the freaks came out, all the substance abusers, everything, all the drunks, everybody came out. There was constant fighting and just carousing around, and people knocking on my door at all hours of the night asking for a ride so they can go to there's a convenience store a few miles away. I lived on the outskirts of town, and the place was really cheap, so people would go out there and rent a place, but they didn't have a car, and they would think they could walk or catch rides from anybody. And then I had an incident with somebody trying to kick my door in, and I would have people knocking on the door, I mean, all hours of night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, asking me to go take them to get beer and stuff like that. And people fighting I lived at the very front, and there was like a gravel driveway, and there was constant fighting. I called the police so many times. They got to know me, got to know who I am. And so he, it was a circumstance. He was never abused. Never, if anything, he's spoiled rotten. I take really good care of him, love him to death. And so it wasn't, the treatment that he received from me. It was the environment and things that happened to him that soured him. And I have another younger Pitbull Cane Corso mix that I got in the middle of the pandemic, and I was not able to take her anywhere because everything was closed for like a year and a half. I couldn't take the dog anywhere. And to the usual public places that I usually would take my dogs. And I've owned pit bulls for 30, almost 40 years. And I usually would take them somewhere, get them socialized. And the first one I had was actually an American Staffordshire Terrier. And I trained that dog. I trained it so well. And I'm not a good dog trainer. I admit that first. I tend to spoil my dogs more than train them. And but this dog I worked with really good. He had such good recall. He was just so calm. He's the best dog I have ever owned as far as his obedience and the way he was trained. I could take him anywhere in public. And little yappy, terrorizing little dogs, he had the best tolerance, and he was just so, so good. And that was the first American Staffordshire Terrier that I owned. He was actually 1/4 German Shepherd also. I've never owned a purebred pit bull or purebred Staffordshire Terrier. All the pits that I've owned have been pit mixes. And actually, I don't even know what Lucky is. I do know that his mother, I thought she was maybe a Staffordshire Terrier or a pit bull. I don't know. It was dark, and I could see she looked purebred. She had, good conformation of a typical American Pit Bull Terrier or Staffordshire Terrier. I don't know. But I think that his dad was maybe he's taller than his mother was. She was like the standard, I guess, AKC type of conformation, which is, a Pit Bull, the standard for, actually, I don't think they're AKC registerable. I think it is the, not the American Kennel Club. I think it's the UKC, or I don't know. I know you're able to register them with one of the dog clubs, but anyway, my big dog looks like a cross, maybe a German Shepherd or something. He has kind of this fur on the back of his neck, kind of like a German Shepherd. And he has a little bit more fur on his tail. The rest of his body looks like a pit bull. And my smaller, younger one, she's probably, he weighs about 95 pounds. He's a big dog. He's not huge, but he's big. And he's got, a big chest, big stance. You know, he looks intimidating, and he has a bad bark, you know. And my other little one, she is all black with a couple of white, I think a white spot on her neck and a stripe on her chest, and the ends of her paws have white on them. And she has the lowest bark I've ever heard. Just, you wouldn't believe it would come out of that little dog. And she is not real friendly. She acts like she wants to tear the fence down when she sees another dog. So I didn't get to socialize her, you know. And these dogs, a lot of people, I am very responsible with my dogs. And I'm making this video to preface for another video that I'm going to make about a San Antonio dog attack that just happened recently. So I'm having trouble finding a house because my pit bulls, and with the recent events of this, I think that might have been the catalyst in me not getting another house, because it just recently happened after I made a deal with them about my dogs. No dog deposit. It was a fixer-upper, $300 deposit for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. And I tried to pay the deposit. You have to do it online and all. Nowadays, getting a house is so different than years ago. Years ago, you met the person and met them in person. You came and looked at the house. If they liked you, then they took your money and you were in. Now, it's all done online. You have to pay an application fee. You have to pay sometimes administration fees, ridiculous fees, you know, just they can add up to hundreds of dollars. And then a personal deposit for you and every adult in the house. Usually they don't charge them for kids, which blows my mind because they'll charge them for dogs but not for kids. And, you know, a lot of the houses that I've moved into, apartments and houses that I have bargained on the deposit, you wouldn't believe how many times I had to repaint something because there was coloring from crayons and things that the kids tore up, you know. So as far as dogs and kids, you know, take your pick. Which one causes more damage? I don't know. And I kind of have a feeling it might be related to this San Antonio dog attack, which, you know, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it because I love pit bulls. I've been around them all my life, and I've been around them when I was really young, and I've learned a lot more, and I think the times now are, I think my views have changed a little bit, and I do think there's a lot of people who should not own these dogs, and if you do own these dogs and something does happen, you have to understand that those dogs are in your care and custody, and you are responsible for their actions. They're animals that are considered property, especially in the state of Texas. Animals in the state of Texas are considered property. They're in your care and custody. You have to take care of them. It is your responsibility, and you're responsible for their actions. So the house hunting for me has been not good, and I've been asked several times, would I get a dangerous dog policy? And I tell them no, because my dogs have never bit anybody, they've never attacked anybody, because I am so responsible. I keep them in. And I did have the younger dog I have, I just found out that she is a digger. She likes to dig. And for over 3 years, she has not done this. And all of a sudden, she started digging, trying to get it under the house. So I've had to block that off. I've had to put big bricks, and I have a railroad tie on one side, and I have to be very careful, you know, and I've had to keep her inside a few days. When I came outside in the morning, and there was a big hole there from the day before that I didn't see because it was dark when I got home. And I had to keep her inside until I could come home after work and fill up that hole and figure out how to patch it to make sure she didn't get out. So, you can't just think, oh, well, it won't happen again. Or, you know, you have to make sure. You have to be responsible, and you have to make sure when you own a dog like this. And it's, you know, not just pit bulls. It can be a lot of big dogs that may have a tendency to be dominant, or maybe are able to get over the fence, crawl over the fence, or crawl under the fence, you know, or break the fence down. And my old dog, he busted his head through a wooden fence. I mean, just bulldozed it with his head. Excuse me, with his head. And there was another dog and a lady on the other side, and he attacked the other dog. But I was in the other side. I have a weird backyard. I live on the end of a regular street, so my house is turned kind of on the side street, like where you would go into the alley. And there's a little walkway in the back, and I was walking the little dog that used to attack the big dog, and I had to keep them separate. So when that happened, I heard the lady, she screamed bloody murder, and so I ran around to the other side, and I had this little dog that, you know, at first he looked at the big dog like he was going to attack him, but then he saw this other dog and started biting him on the rear, while my other dog, the big dog, had her head or neck in his mouth. And I had to throw the little dog in the house real fast and go back and had to pry this pit bull's mouth open and get the other dog loose. And the lady took off, and I went back to go check on the dog. The dog was okay, just a little frazzled, but luckily, you know, didn't draw blood, amazingly didn't kill the dog. And immediately I had to keep him in the house until I was able to buy a roll of chain link, and I buried the chain link a foot deep and reinforced my fence. See, if you have an incident like that, you have to do something. You have to be responsible for your dog's behavior, for what they do. You can't just throw them back out there in the backyard. Oh, well, you know, I'll patch the hole. You have to make sure, you know, and it's, you know, it can be nerve-wracking. It can be sometimes I do worry. I worry a lot sometimes, but I try everything I can to be responsible. Okay, I'm going to close this out because this video is getting really long, but thank you all for the new subscribers. Vlog channel, random stuff, just all kinds of stuff, anything. I have done a series on the Chrisleys, which I'll probably do some more videos on them. I'm just kind of letting them, they're simmering in prison, you know, nothing really great has been happening, but I'll probably make another few videos about them. But this dog attack in San Antonio, I'm going to make another video probably tomorrow. So I just want to preface it by this, because it kind of is close to my heart, you know, things that are very important to me. And I'm just going to talk about that on my next video. Okay, thank you all. Thank you so much.